Welcome back to the Caregiver Minute, where every weekday family and professional caregivers gather to refine their skills, gain inspiration, and prepare to serve. I've shared a lot of stories here on the Caregiver Minute to help illustrate important points and techniques. And today I want to do something different than I've ever done. I want to read a story to you because I think the authors of this story recount it far better than I could summarize it. The story is a true one, and it comes from the book The Outward Mindset, which is written by the Arbinger Institute. And if you're not familiar with them, the Arbinger Institute helps everyone from governments to businesses to individuals learn how to navigate conflict more effectively and have better relationships. In this book, they recount an experience that occurred at a skilled nursing facility that had recently been acquired. The authors say the following. The facility was led by an interdisciplinary team of talented department heads who had, over time, forgotten the reason they entered healthcare. Years of inwardly focused management had invited and reinforced an inward focus in them, often leaving them blind to their impact on each other and, most importantly, to patients and their care. During the first few months after the acquisition of this facility, an elderly Vietnamese patient was admitted from the local hospital. While traveling back to Vietnam after visiting her children in another location in the United States, this patient had experienced major health complications. Unable to speak English and with no family nearby, she was powerless to communicate with the staff at even the most basic levels and quickly became a problem. One behavioral outburst followed after another. First she threw her food and then her urinal. Each eruption accompanied by yells and rants in a language none of the staff understood. "She has to be discharged," one department leader demanded in the next department head meeting. "Surely there's a behavioral unit that will accept her." Another agreed. "At the very least, we have to get the physician to prescribe medication to calm her down." With these two options on the table, the team stood to leave the meeting. "What would it be like to her?" one of the team members asked quietly, almost to herself, giving voice to an outward mindset question. Everyone stopped. "I'm just thinking about what it would be like to be Ms. Tham," she continued. "She's far from home. She can't communicate. She can't understand what is going on. She doesn't know why we're keeping her here or if she'll ever get home. I wonder what she's thinking. What would that be like?" Everyone sat down again. After a few moments, the dietary supervisor spoke up. "You know, there's a little Vietnamese store by my house. Maybe it would make a difference if Miss Tham could eat what she's used to eating. I'll get some recipes online and see what we could do in the kitchen." The social services director began searching for local Vietnamese community groups, and within the week had a lineup of volunteers to be at Ms. Tham's bedside, spending one-on-one time in conversation and providing translation services for the nurses. Soon the entire staff had rallied to find ways not only to make Ms. Tham's stay bearable, but to enrich it. She was no longer an object to the people in the facility. She had become a person to them, a person whom they desired to help. Well, whether you're a family or a professional caregiver, knowing what person-centered care really is and how to achieve it makes a big difference. And this story from the Arbinger Institute reminds us what it actually takes. We need to learn to see the world through the eyes of the other person. We need to see them as a person. We need to not label the behavior that we're observing. We need to try to understand what that behavior is telling us. When we turn outward, even at times when we would be very justified to be angry about the situation going on, we see things at a different level. We see things more clearly. We recognize what we can do that makes a difference for the other person, instead of just getting hung up on what we might call that behavior that we see. I hope you'll take some time today to consider whether you have a Ms. Tham in your life. It might be someone that you're serving as a caregiver, or it might be someone else that you're not quite seeing as a person. But as in her case, if we will take the time to slow down and to ask, I wonder what it would be like to see the world through their eyes. I'm confident that we'll get further, we'll have greater joy in our relationships, and we'll be more of a support to the people around us. Well, thanks for watching, and I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow for another episode of the Caregiver Minute.